we became so close so quickly. And I do feel like we have a very deep connection. I think it's like in the same way that Claudia and Vivian do.
I feel like our relationship in real life is like an older badass version of like Viv and Claudia. Like when they both kind of like realized who they want to be and they're like badass working bitches in the real world. We just meet up and like talk about really deep stuff and empowering things and share like books and poems, and we talk about like our ideas for short films and movies and things we're gonna make, and I love it. I love it. What drew you to the film Moxie?
Well, when I first read the script, I felt that I never really read anything like this before. It was a new genre. It felt like a high school teen movie with this feminist undercurrent, or maybe it was a feminist movie with more of that, teen undercurrent. But I just hadn't seen anything like it before. Even in the reading of it, there was a lot of healing that happened in the process of just processing. I had an emotional experience. It was cathartic. I felt I understood something that I hadn't before reading it, and I just wanted to be a part of this story. I love things that lead with empathy, and I really think this story leads with a lot of heart and a lot of empathy in her pursuit to understand her friends and the people around her. And I wanted to be part of that. Also, it was Paper Kite and Amy Poehler, and I was like, those are incredible. Yeah.
It's hard to not be interested. It was strangely emotional for me too, and not strangely because it's something that we all go through these things, and I think we all have had this moment of like feeling this frustration with things and breaking through and kind of understanding that and coming together and building a community around these shared frustrations. And what really got me too was kind of like all the characters' personal struggles throughout it. Beyond trying to like fight for something that's bigger than themselves and that will outlive themselves, it's really powerful to watch these young women also cope with all these things in their life that maybe their friends don't even know about. And I think that made it feel like a really intimate, very honest movie to me. And yeah, I loved it. When was the first time that you learned about feminism or what a feminist is?
Yeah, I mean, my introduction wasn't the greatest intro, but I was on a bus on my way to school, and I overheard some boys talking about the word feminism and saying it was synonymous with man-hating. So that was the first time I kind of heard about it. But then I did a little bit more research, and I was like, but no, it just means equality. This is when I was very young. It just means that everybody is allowed the same opportunities. And I said, I'm a feminist and I don't hate men, and I was very confused, but it started conversations, and that was kind of the introduction. And I remember like looking it up and being like, wait, that's me. This is what I believe in. So yeah. What was your intro? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly when too, but it definitely started off having all these like negative connotations towards it. I think it was really like boys around me, like high school boys and stuff, talking about feminism in such a way that it made me feel like almost start to build this like this strong reaction to the word, almost of like, oh no, I'm not like that. I don't know. I hate the way that they like tried to take that word and make it something that people feel is bad at all, when it's really fighting for equality. And like feminism is to help people of all genders, hopefully. I mean, I feel like that's what it should be for. And I had a fight in class once because we were discussing feminism, and I was sitting at a table and there were like some guys there, and we started talking about it, and they were very much on the side like that men have struggles too. And it's like, okay, like yes, men have struck. Like I started to cry though, which was crazy because I was like 16. I felt all this pent up frustration of like, yeah, like damn, in my life I have dealt with a lot of things that because I'm a woman that people have judged me a certain way or had certain expectations of me or didn't take me seriously as an artist. And it was pent up because I wanted to be heard, and I felt like I was talking to a brick wall. And I think I understood how a lot of women have felt,
What do you think the message is that people will take away from watching this film?
I mean, I hope that people are really inspired and excited to be themselves through this. And I think that like through Moxie, we see the power of all these like strong individuals coming together and fighting for each other and themselves. And I hope that people know that like the world desperately wants and needs you to be yourself. And I think that like us trying to be someone else is destroying the world in our heads, which then destroys the world around us. So I hope that people see in this film that like Everyone doing better means everyone does better. Someone doesn't have to be on top, judging people by like their success or where they're from or anything. But yeah, I hope people are excited to be themselves, because that's like the most exciting thing you can be.
Oh gosh, that's such a great answer. I mean, like, the thing that makes it special for me is kind of like what you said, seeing women or young girls intimately connect with each other in a very supportive way, where everybody is in it together and they're all supporting each other. And I think that's so rare that you see a large group of young girls in high school who are all from different backgrounds and have different personalities in the pursuit of something they all believe in, unified, together. And I hope people will see that and, reflect that and make that their reality of saying, okay, I can surround myself with girls and have these intimate connections that are really important, and build a supportive environment together and lift each other up, like you said.
Yeah, and I feel like in the media and just growing up, like, women have always felt this pressure to compete with one another.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, what?
It's
I'm so excited for
less seats at the table, Yeah.
Hadley, in school when you were growing up, was there anything that resembled Moxie, and are these clubs something that you would have wanted to join?
I went to 3 different high schools. I kind of traveled around, and sad to say that there were no clubs that I knew of that were doing anything like this. And I wish there had been. I think I would have been a part of that club, and it would have been really a really great thing to have in my life. But no, there weren't clubs. So hopefully this movie, maybe it'll encourage viewers to start clubs of their own where there aren't otherwise any.
I went to like a small Buddhist high school, and we were very small, like 15 kids per grade. We didn't have any clubs like this. There were a lot of things focused on compassion and love, but I think we need to talk about the specifics, People can't dance around it because they exist. So yeah, I hope that this movie inspires people, makes them aware of maybe a lack of things like this at their school. On set, did you feel like there was a sense of female pride between all of us?
Yeah, it's interesting because your character and my character were probably the most introverted, shy characters that are part of this cast. I think we showed our power in different ways than other characters, but the power was always there and the pride was always there. And I think the confidence was always there, and the conviction. It was shared. It was definitely shared. If one person was feeling like really good, it was contagious, and everybody started to reflect that back, and it was a joint.
Yeah.
Felt it.
Yeah, I felt like everyone was really like enamored by each other too, because we're all from such different backgrounds. Like when someone was speaking about their life or their experience or the things that they love, everyone was so tuned into that always, in a very real way. And some of the conversations, it felt like we were like outside of time. Like we were just so into it and so passionate. I love it. Lots of power. Those girls are like the coolest. You guys are the coolest people I know by far.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I also learn so much from all of you. I'm just constantly learning from you all.
Something that really stuck with me from being a part of Moxie, and then also just having friendships with you guys after, is that I feel the most empowered when I'm just listening. And just listening to you guys speak about your life and your experiences. And I'm so inspired to speak up about the things that I've struggled with and the things that I'm going through. And I think that's really stuck with me, is that people are the key, like individuals are the key. And it's incredible to fight for something for everyone. But I think it really comes down to like us listening to and validating and being there for the people immediately around us. It's been the light of my past 4 years, is getting close to you guys and being friends with you guys. So truly.
Me too. Very grateful.